All right, this is section 4.4, trig functions of any angle. So first, we're going to try a few challenge problems with your unit circle. For these, we start by looking at the unit circle. 2 times sine of pi over 6 cosine of pi over 6. Well, the sine of pi over 6 is 1/2. And the cosine of pi over 6 is square root 3 over 2. Notice that the 2's cancel here, leaving me just square root 3 over 2. For the second one, the sine of pi over 3 is square root 3 over 2. The cosine of pi over 6 is square root 3 over 2. Cosine of pi over 3 is 1/2. The sine of pi over 6 is 1/2. I get 3 over 4 plus 1 over 4, which is just 1. And tangent of 60 minus tangent of 30. The tangent at 60 degrees is square root 3. The tangent at 30 degrees is square root 3 over 3. So let's make this common denominators. We get 2 square root 3 over 3. All right, trig functions of any angle. Theta is an angle in standard position with the point xy on the terminal side. R is going to equal the square root of x squared plus y squared, and that is the distance from our point to the origin. So the sine of whatever this angle is always y over r. This is true for our unit circle, except that r was always 1. So that means cosine is x over r. Tangent is y over x, but remember that x can't be 0. Cosecant is r over y, but remember that y cannot be 0. Secant is r over x, but x can't equal 0. And cotangent is x over y, but y cannot equal 0. So very similar to what we were doing before, with the added step of finding an r value. It's also very important to know the signs of the trig functions by the quadrant that they're in. So in the first quadrant, remember, quadrants are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. In the first quadrant, our points are positive, positive. In the second quadrant, we go negative, positive. In the third quadrant, we have negative, negative. And in the fourth quadrant, we have positive, negative. Now, a little phrase to help you remember what trig functions are positive and negative where. A for all, S for students, T for take, C for calculus. All students take calculus. In the A, all trig functions are positive. In the S, sine is positive, there we go. Cosine and tangent are negative. T, tangent is positive. C, cosine is positive. Realize that the reciprocals go with it. So sine and cosecant are positive, but the rest are negative. Tangent and cotangent are positive, the rest are negative. Cosine and secant are positive, the rest are negative. So, again, a different way of writing this. In the first quadrant, remember 1, 2, 3, 4. First quadrant, everything is positive. Second quadrant, sine will be positive, negative, negative. Third quadrant, negative, negative, positive. Fourth quadrant, negative, positive, negative. Every single time. So theta is an angle in standard position. Let's find the 6 trig functions. We start by finding r. And r is equal to the square root of x squared plus y squared. So negative 4 squared plus 1 squared, which is the square root of 16 plus 1, which is the square root of 17. So for the sine of theta, we take our y over r. And we have to rationalize our denominator. We get square root of 17 over 17. For the cosine of our angle, we take x over r, so negative 4 over the square root of 17. And again, rationalize our denominator. We get negative 4 square root 17 over 17. And for the tangent of our angle, we take y over x, so 1 over negative 4. The only thing here, we don't usually leave a negative in the denominator. We float it out front. Then our reciprocals, so cosecant of theta. You can take the reciprocal at any point in time. I strongly recommend you take it from right away for both of them. We get square root of 17 over 1, which is just the square root of 17. For the secant, we get the square root of 17 over negative 4. The only thing here, float that negative out front. Negative square root of 17 over 4. And cotangent, we take the reciprocal, we get negative 4 over 1, or just negative 4. Should only have to rationalize the denominator twice. So if my coordinate is 0, negative 7, well, we start by finding r. The square root of x squared plus y squared, that's the square root of 49, which is 7. R is 7. All right, this is a special case. So the sine of this angle is negative 7 over 7, which is negative 1. The cosine of this angle is 0 over 7, which is 0. And the tangent of this angle is negative 7 over 0, which is undefined. Cosecant of our angle, we flip it over, which still gives me negative 1. Secant of our angle, we flip it over, which actually makes undefined. And the cotangent of our angle, flip it over, we actually get 0. All right, a couple more to try now. All right, for this first one, we'll get our r value. R is equal to the square root of negative 2 squared plus negative 5 squared, which means that r is the square root of 4 plus 25, so the square root of 29. All right, the sine of theta is negative 5 over the square root of 29. Rationalize your denominator. We get negative 5 square root 29 over 29. The cosine of your angle is negative 2 over the square root of 29. Again, rationalize your denominator. You get negative 2 square root 29 over 29. And our tangent is negative 5 over negative 2. Those negatives can drop, leaving me 5 over 2. Now for our cosecant. We take the reciprocal from the beginning, float that negative out front. I get negative square root of 29 over 5. The secant, same thing, negative square root 29 over 2. And the cotangent, take that reciprocal, we get 2 over 5. Now for 5, negative 7. Start by finding r. R is equal to the square root of 5 squared plus negative 7 squared, which is the square root of 25 plus 49, which means r is the square root of 74. Square root of 74 does not simplify, so we'll leave it as it is. The sine of theta is y over r, so negative 7 over the square root of 74. Rationalize that denominator. We get negative 7 square root 74 over 74. The cosine of our angle, same thing, it's x over r. Rationalize our denominator. We get 5 square root 74 over 74. And the tangent of our angle is y over x, negative 7 over 5, and that one is good. All right, sorry, I fixed my paper here. Here we go, cosecant. Take the reciprocal from the beginning, negative square root 74 over 7. The secant, reciprocal from the beginning, square root 74 over 5. And the cotangent, negative 5 over 7. And there we have it.